And that's make we bring come to you the Today Show. We get segments where they range from interviews on the big issues.
Sierra Leone authorities said Monday that 20 people were killed and nearly 2,000 prisoners escaped during Sunday's attack on the capital.
To sport.
What a fairy tale story here. There they are, the champions of Africa.
And entertainment and simple tourism with plenty other issues.
Get ready for the roller coaster ride. So we did today's story them as we dive deep into the heart of the matter.
Every weekday on Slick Television, channel 37 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tune in and stay informed like never before.
The Today Show, only on Slick Television.
It's a rainy Thursday. Others then are state under rain. I mean, the market woman, right now, if you go to Dove Court, for example, then they under it in the sell. The bike riders, however, then gets now the umbrella. Also, some arguably, they say the umbrella right now is very expensive. It's cost about 600 million, so they wonder how much then they make altogether. Whereas others within a street under the rain, other set of people, I mean the big one, they inside the well of Parliament as in a state opening, wherein the President told us one or two things we need for know. Hello and welcome to the Today Show here on Slick Television, channel 37. You can also join us on Facebook at Slick TV, website at slicktv.com, and follow us on all social media handles. I am Rabiatu Mansari. Now, in Nexus, or in connection with your start for talk earlier, we quote for today, say, Parliament is more than just procedure. It's the custodian of the nation's freedom. Parliament is just procedure. Now, the custodian of the nation in freedom. We say the laws within they make, now they pass, and all we need to know today, it's like the president from his own voice or from him, he go read his own result all together. But is that the case? Is that the practical reality? And some analysts then go join me today as we analyze all or major highlights them where the president talk there in State House. See you after the break.
Village boy, call me the upliner. What are they when I get village?
Me not the same boy picking.
Yeah, I'm tipsy and going hard. Forgive me, Lord, for doing this. I make me dreams before I sleep. Then dog here, then go give me peace. I quiz peace and spray. They all know I can shape it. I set the pace and keep me still. The one over me, I give them tips.
Are you cow juju? I left give you God. Who start with a silence? Nigga, you not odd. And see you cows there, cause me not God.
They pass and ask like na jeans card. This rapper one for come, I get for come and flush it quick. Niggas get for no say where I can. Get for trust it quick.
I'll be there yet for cosmetics. Kindness looks strange to you. Sammy Kingdom full of dreams. Boxing at his chest.
Do not read for this game, they ask like you, Jack. Look why he face black. Look why he was the all work. If I only part.
Oh Lord, I'm not really calling up for that today. Now, Pampage team at the big Unabia.
They no bluff, nobody out. Them na bush, then go in circles. Say they 8 son like a bariga on the bout. If the list back, I'm team self not itself for tap you all. About them always show me love. When they see me, they got their shouts.
Earlier today was the state opening of the third session of the 6th Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone. South City, inside the well of Parliament. The President, however, read in result, the achievements and the gains so far what they don't make. Now, we're in the studio here at Slick TV and we want for can help promote as to Waiting a tell with yonder, is that the practical reality? I mean, that's the ordinary Sierra Leonean, the see and the feel. And for help me with more further conversation day, Melvin Tijan Mansari, who has been a parliamentary reporter and an analyst, there with us. And hopefully we will be joined by Thomas Pali Babadiwina, Executive Director, Forum of Sierra Leone Youth Network, and Ambassador Mohamed A. Bangura, Founder and Executive Director, Building the Future Foundation, Sierra Leone. But quickly, amongst many of the highlights them where the president make, it talks something about education, how far they've gone, the things they've been doing, what he has been doing. However, we get that and we will come back in the studio.
Game Changer 2, Human Capital Development. Basic and senior secondary education. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, no nation can rise above the quality of its people. Education is the ladder families use to climb out of poverty and the foundation on which nations build prosperity. When I visit schools, I see children full of hope. Some work for mice, some study by candlelight, yet they keep dreaming. We promised that education will never again be a privilege for the few, but a right for every child. Today we are delivering on that promise. Since 2018, enrollment, retention, and completion rates have all risen. We have built over 1,500 classrooms and upgraded school, water, and sanitation facilities. We have trained more than 20,000 teachers, including 14,000 in early grade literacy and numeracy. We continue to pay fees for MPSC, daycare, bus every time.
President say instead we go check now some schools them. I mean, Melvin is here with us. Melvin, listen and say you've heard it from the horse's mouth. But and you don't be in the wall of parliament for a pretty long time, and we don't see now one side will big one and can go, then go say well one go say the manifesto or then desire or what's in them plan for do. But when you can dong, you tend to see the opposite. Even when the president talks say ain't going to certain schools and they check. Yeah, when they Allah, and somebody continued saying, when last? I mean, what's your view altogether?
I think it has always been a characteristic of the presidency in message that I mean, a large percentage of them can be facts in forms of data and specifics, but a large chunk of the presidency message also can be a form of rhetoric, fiction, I'll put it, and all that. So for me, when he says he don't train, we say 20,000 teachers. And of course, since he seems to recruit, he said train. The question we go beg now, Usai should train them across the country, what specific areas. He's also talking about the long construct, 150 schools. Again, that is just, I would call it, it's just an ordinary fact. The real fact there is, where are the school blocks? So his speech largely was can I say, revolving around facts and politics or rhetorics and that. So on education, I think he mentioned something that is statistically correct, that there is increase in enrollment and retention. But there is a point there where we see from the outcome of the NPSC result, where he say, we not talk about the number of absenting and pupils them for what take public exam. And that is a growing trend, and not seem for talk about that. So again, 1,500 classrooms and upgraded school water and sanitation facilities. That's what he said since 2018. But if we want to get a clear impression on these three documents that are important. One, I'm still waiting, and I don't know whether it's been it's been put online. I still look for the full text of the speech. That's one. And secondly, we'll need to put it in tandem with the manifesto promises, because at the end of the day, the essence of the president's message or the State of the Nation's address is to give a roundup
of what you don't do so far.
What you don't do for one session. A session in Parliament, according to the laws, is 120 days, which means 1 year. So, in tandem with the conversation, we expect President Bill or whatever Parliament level can do now for put that document, which it already in tandem with which he been promised, when the manifesto promise. And if you go and look at what he promised on education, some of them have been achieved, others are yet to be achieved. Yes, so that is it, putting it in tandem, but also putting it in tandem with budget. And that's where it will be interesting for budget, for the conversation on education, because if you look for the fiscal year, how much has, for the fiscal year in this case, so the last first session, second session, if you calculate the projected budget, we go to education. And you ask yourself, is it the commensurate return that we are getting? For example, when it comes to performance in public exams. I'll use public exams as a simple case study because that's where we will.
And you train now we've done this lately.
Yeah. So in tandem with that, again, like I said, putting that into perspective, it's quite significant because huge chunk of the budget, as I said earlier on, they into education. So is it returning? Is it giving the similar return? Because public schools are not performing well when it comes to international or external exams. So if that can, and indeed, academically, exams are one way for test the person in capacity on understanding the subject matter. So if that can be said, I think me go advance the conversation that yes, some of these things might be true or arguably true, but the fact remains that how much was placed on education, is it the commensurate return we are getting in terms of performance? So that I think is key for what he said on education, and whether he visits the schools. I don't think the president will visit any place in secret. Wherever he goes, people will certainly understand that the president is here. So if he say he go there, maybe he go there by proxy, meaning he send other people there, because he get agents. So he need to make himself clear. But unfortunately, although he boasts about press freedom, which is accurately true, apparently an omitted fact is the fact that he does not speak frequently to the press. He rarely grants interviews, because I would long for the day to perhaps host the president on our brutally frank show to talk some of these actual issues rather than the rhetoric. So yes, on one hand, and when it talks about that for media freedom, I think he's there. Again, a contentious issue you spoke about is that on the PR.
Yes, we can quickly, but look, talk about education small more, because MBB in flagship program in 2018, we can say one for ensure say people get free access to education. And you mentioned something where don't turn for be a trend now, where for the public exams, for example, way before now, we know they see that 210 was in sense. Now, if you did SS3, for example, we go for go see to us a list of you name not come. That's one. We not be the same. And the time where the now chief minister was the minister of basic education, we tend to see a difference, however, in the education sector, which the public we somehow appreciate waiting be the happen. Now the MPSC results are out very soon. Then we'll get to interview. Now parents, then if you do a survey right now, if you go and ask parents the question, the first day that school they don't tell me 2 million. for pay. So the question again is, where is the free where people they actually talk about? Well, now the schools are asking way more than waiting them be they ask before we term it free or before it became free. That's just one. And this same picking they go see the public exam now. Now by turn out for the name come. If you name no can this year, no say next year, now you name get for camp.
And perhaps that is as a result of cross-cutting measures that we then take in the education system. Firstly, under this government, they introduced continuous assessment. We technically make it impossible for you outside of the school system for taking them public exams. And again, let me not miss the fact when it comes to education that we get a record number of students them when able for seats. I think it's 36,000 arguably. So
yes,
record number. And when the president talk about results on education for the last 1-2 years, I will tell you the number of picking it don't sound like a business. And I use the word cost-cutting measures because it seems as if it was free quality compulsory education. If we have a case study wherein somebody that's in a big woman go sit and it end up for turn a whole social media firestorm. So where is the radical inclusion in this case? So I think the economics of education we will know before harmonize properly is the fact that, like I said earlier on, what is invested and what is. But again, how much governments want for sky for save, what did they spend? Because the government's agenda on education now for picking education from ATRC. Roughly in the sense that, of course, you can get free primary, you can get free junior secondary and senior secondary. But we go tertiary now. But tertiary is not free. And you have other countries and campaign and other governments where they make tertiary education also free. Again, this government under education promise students offering STEM some incentive. For science students them. Where is that incentive? Has that incentive been operationalized? So again, this government on education been supposed to get a teacher's scholarship program, wherein President Bio last year, in fact it's last year, he said he will get a special fund or a special program when teacher and then picking them
go benefit from, like if you are a teacher, you don't teach for a particular year, you picking go college, stay done, and then go sponsor all of those things.
Exactly.
And the students loan scheme altogether, where for example, if I didn't at college, then go lend me money, till I done. But all of these things we haven't seen so far.
Well, I think again, I just want to be restrained because I like to read full text of such kind of matters, particularly when it comes to the president, because I find pleasure in reading it, because I find pleasure in picking the fish from the bone on the issue that they. But yeah, I think so. Those are some of the critical issues on education. So until we expect say for capture, where you not capture, now that there's an international report where say the number of picking them now West Africa. I think that's a UNESCO report where they score 0 in public exams. Sierra Leone is doing very well, meaning that people already go sit them public exam and they go sit for certain subject and they get 0. Sierra Leone, we are way on top of the West Africa region. I think his researchers and his pitch writers could not see that report. That could have been a very big plus in adding into that report because yes, they are saying that there are challenges when it comes to primary education, early learning, but in Sierra Leone's case, yes, many people are not then sabi the computation, but however the actual interpretation. So we have a defect about the fact remains. Salon picking them over the UNESCO scan. Well. No, we will sit in again nothing.
Papa, you will do extremely well when a man you get for go through the entire process. You know, from education, the other flagship program, now the food security. I mean, wait time. Feed Salon. And in that slide, he also mentioned what they've done so far. Then we get them quickly and we will continue.
Game changer 1, Feed Salon, agriculture and food security. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, when we launched the Big 5 Game Changers in 2023, we set out a simple truth. Sierra Leone must stand on its own feet. We cannot truly prosper if we depend on ships sailing to our shore for our daily food. That is why Feed Salon sits at the heart of our agenda. Food security is about dignity, independence, and a future where every family can put food on the table. Last year, rice production grew by 8%, cotton imports by 14%, and saving us 15 million United States dollars in foreign exchange. For the first time in my own living memory, the price of rice has fallen by over 20%. Giving families some relief. We have opened 3 new rice mills, reducing waste and boosting local processing. For the first time, the World Food Programme buys 30% of its rice from farmers in Sierra Leone. This is a dramatic shift from years of near total import dependence. The story is similar for other foods. Egg imports have decreased by 21%. Local onions are now cheaper than imported ones. And we are exporting vegetable oil for the first time. Behind these results is real investment, over $800 million pledged, with $205 million already committed to livestock, cassava, and rural roads. We launched a $10 million credit facility for modern equipment and Sierra Leone's first crop insurance scheme. We have mapped our soils digitally for the first time and registered 300,000 farmers biometrically, building a modern, accountable farming system. 420 kilometers of feeder roads and new bridges are under construction to connect farmers to the market. Responding to climate change, we are embedding resilience into our food systems under the Paris Agreement. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Feed Salon is a promise that Sierra Leone can feed itself, create jobs, and give farmers and young people a future worth staying for. The fisheries sector. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, fishing sustains over 1 million Sierra Leoneans, especially women and young people in the coastal communities. The sector contributes 12% of our GDP and must be managed wisely. In 2024, the sector earned $5 million, already beating revenue targets.
Now No, don't come back. That was the president talking about the achievement so far with the Feed Salon project altogether. And Thomas Pali Babadi is here. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's show.
Good afternoon.
Yes, it's your first time being here, right?
Yeah.
Then before you come into the president to talk about the Feed Salon, I just want to ask a quick one because he mentioned one key thing. Also, I talk say the price of rice don't reduct about 20%. And I just want to know if you agree or disagree with that, firstly. Let's start there.
No, it's not about agree or disagree. What he's saying, now, I was in the freedom from the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Trade. So what they feed the president is what the president comes and talk. So that's on his own volition like that. He has a team in cabinet, has a team that will come from parliament, has a team that will come from the executive arm of government to feed him with information before he comes such program. And he also has to peruse those information, those documents, etc. For they come empowered enough who can talk. And he talk about, because what they are interested in, it's about the economy.
Will they come to the
Nothing else, the economy. What is this, what is that, out of it done, blah, 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 blah. The economy is where you feed in every other country in the world. That's why America.
When it comes to the economy, because he actually mentioned something about it, what we go look at. But we know, as Abraham actually asked, because he said the price reduction will go down about 20%. So I just want to ask, because we are here to analyze what he don't say and the practical reality, like when last or how much the bag of rice right now, where I'm sure maybe you don't get your money, you don't go buy, you don't know say na so it cost. So if you agree with the 20% reduction, we say.
I buy this last month and I got a very small family, so I still not buy it at all. But however, rice still remains 800, 900. Depend on the category of rice that we want. You want jasmine? You want pusawa? You get different categories of rice. You get the wala rice, now the country rice. It's expensive because it's scarce in supply. So we didn't supply in major supply. Then they need a category. So it depends on whose angle they come from. That's the generality of everything we have to say. Let's assume say we have a challenge of rice in scarcity. And so you go be for point finger at the president and the rice dealers. But now we get rice in huge supply. You need strength for every other hilly areas, in fact. Get rice.
So, but the supply day, but the price.
The supply day, but the price of the quality rice. I'll talk about here. The price, so many it is normal rice. Because they are diabetic and they get a lot of medical advice or what have you. They go for the country rice, what they call wala rice. It's available. A few people are going for it because it's expensive. Look at jasmine. Half bag jasmine. It's 650. Just half bag. One bag will be how much? Subdivide them. And look at the fraction. So there are a lot of things we get for really look at. I was coming here to talk because I read the budget speech of the Minister of Finance. We feed into this. That's the most important. That fits into this. I don't look at the appropriation bill. You don't become an act. Now this is the budget speech of the Minister of Finance. Waiting is see how we see them sequentially. You look at financial management and control measures. You look at aggregate segregation duties. What they happen within the Ministry of Finance? It's accounting.
Okay.
It's financial management, not the bookkeeping at all. Secondly, that boils around the economy. Bread.
The economy
and
day,
butter.
Mr. Babadi.
Yeah.
The bread and butter with the candy. I mean, Melvin, the president also had say feed salon an indication say salon go able feed himself. But the other man go ask you, how far we with the Bumbuna and the Tomabom project in the first place?
And I think that is one of the things that if I look inside the text of the full text of the speech, I don't know if me is fine. I think what is it saying? 8%. Okay, last year rice price production grew again
by 8%.
It's of course you measure agriculture based on yield, the turnout, but you can broaden that perspective based on its contribution to GDP. So, for example, they say FAO they buy 30% of the rice than I are. So how comes still organizations like FAO, WFP, still they rank Sierra Leone as food insecure nations?
And then Chinese governments, they give salon rice.
And we are still aid recipients of rice. And yet still, you put that into context, they say exports don't reduce. Yes, the figures might be showing that, or the data might be showing that, but in actual reflection, as Sierra Leoneans fed. You ask, just take the vox pop to the street, ask person, I mean, no with safety, reach there 9 o'clock, go there 8 o'clock morning, when for the average person, it's when I breakfast time, so man take breakfast earlier than that. Ask a person, say you don't eat. Rabbi, they tell you, if you go ask person that question, the man will nearly go and AC and pay you. Because they look at it in a mockery. Why? Because many people are hungry. That is just a bottom line fact. International indices are saying that. So I want for say there, FAO, that is one of the buy there on a fan, other way less a lot of people are going to get some, because you can still have high production, but the cost has not changed. For example, if we are net exporters of egg, as claimed, as claimed, I use the word claimed, as claimed, the fact remains, why still egg you ever buy on 5 leu, unlike before? So the reflection, the translation of this data into the reality, and in terms of context, what has changed? Again, if I was arguing with a politician, I would have escalated the conversation to where the APC left it and where we are now. But let me just
because then go tell you said they left the bag of rice around 250.
No, it goes beyond.
And today we bang up to 800, like how Mr.
That's the very ordinary political argument. But there are other areas, as cited. For example, cassava production. Where did the APC left that thing? For example, when it comes to livestock production, if you do, and let me just don't give too much away, because on Sunday, Brutally Frank will be examining the issue of Feed Sierra Leone, how hungry we are or not. So we're doing a lot of research on that, and Sierra Leoneans will be shocked because...
So you agree say Sierra Leoneans are hungry?
Sierra Leoneans are among the hungriest. We're not even hungry. There is one report that ranks Sierra Leone among the hungriest nations. So the degree of hunger is serious, and we cannot downplay them. How much person they eat 3 times per day in a salon? Me say self here in a work man. Because if I say I want for eat 3 times per day, maybe for the next week I not go eat. So it's about the reality when it comes to agriculture. Again, when you look at the manifesto, the government promised for the 10% increase to agriculture. That's again, has that been fulfilled as promised in the New Direction manifesto? So there is a political side to this speech. We may not want for going to. I want to for the honorable let them debate them, because if you actually want to examine this speech, you are going to juxtapose it with what was said in the manifesto, how much was allocated as budget, what were the service delivery charters or service delivery key performance indicators, how those projects or programs or policies or agencies have rolled them out in tandem with time. Another important element to this conversation is time. Shortly, you begin to hear politicians say, well, the president will do all this, still get time. And there is a simple analysis for that in contract or social contract. Now, yes, you need to wait for 5 years for you to go and decide. But Rabbi, what the work so na sleek? Management need to wait for 5 years for appraise Rabbi or Melvin, for let you know say Melvin they perform and they perform. Appraisals are done annually.
Yes.
So unfortunately, democracy has not got that kind of space. But in advanced democracies, there are ways where they force government them for deliver. If you go to the US, they have what is called midterm elections. If you go to other jurisdictions, there is what is called recall clause, wherein if, for example, a lawmaker is not performing, the people can recall him from parliament. So those are the checkmates. But by and large, stick to the facts again on agriculture, how much has been injected into agriculture, what were the extant agricultural projects, what's the state of Tomabom, and all that. But largely, when we want to talk about agriculture, I think the president is right, it's about production. But again, there is a secret there where they give those figures. And interesting, sometimes they give you figures. Sometimes they give you data. But in other times, it just talk in blanket. And then you know specificity.
Mr. Babadi said I was in Engia and I did talk.
And yes, by virtue, because that is protocol, he's the president. Again, if we want for due diligence, I think yes, his chief minister should have vetted everything there. But that's how generally this government, previous government, that's how presidential addresses have been written in riddles, in rhetorics, in some few cherry-picked facts and data where the support say yes, they are delivering. So yes, on that start, I think he has got it. But I'll tell you, timeliness again, as I was saying, this significance of this address is that it's on the occasion of the opening of the 3rd session of Parliament, and he's got 5 years. He has done 7 of both terms. So it means for this 2nd term, in terms of political, socio-political importance, it means that if he cannot deliver in this 3rd session or 3rd year in the constitution of Parliament, the tendency for him to deliver in the remaining 2 years will be minimal. So if President Bay is going to deliver on his manifesto promises on time, I use the word on time. Now middle lie don't they? He almost did a shibi on Sheba middle. So what's in Obu do 3 years? There is no political magician that can do it in 2 years. So this is quite significant to him, and it's good that he's making a lot of promises, a lot of legislative promises. And I don't know. I still want to read this speech. I don't know if I hear anything on the exact date where constitutional review go start. I don't know if he talks something on that. I don't know also where he talk about the tripartite again. So a lot of things, and they will need for read on my own and process and give some context, because that speech you need for get context in terms of politics, in terms of performance, in terms of even to body language, because look at the body language of the First Lady. I think again she was embarrassed indirectly because
why is it so?
Older than the same Cocoa Spa. So this is what we say. Where SLPP, then they go to the conference and they go do things facing another man and they are to themselves. They don't count the political cost. So in this case, waiting and do not been to money. Now the opposition don't can do it. So waiting internally, then be feel say what you call derogatory slaw as way of chance. It's now coming to bite.
Don't get a different message altogether.
Of course, it's now being used. And then I make anybody within a government where they don't go pick again, it's my right to my opinion, narcissistic spokesperson. It's not going to help the political tension in the country. Not at all. Not at all. So again, I think say in terms of body language of that, I watched, it's 6 months and 27 days I've been banned by the speaker. So I followed it from a distance. And one of the things that I noticed, the body language, and of course the opposition was the opposition was moderate.
Yes, they were calm. They
were calm and they were very attentive. And I'm sure that was for a reason. They want to listen and make sure that they arm themselves with the facts. But already they are giving immediate reaction. But I think the low light of that is again SLPP snake coming to bet them. And I think the SSF got the process as to what them been do. It been necessary for hosting cocos. Cocos, I can always ask, who in cocos or host the cocoa.
All right, we're still in the well of Parliament. The president also talks about the economy and the backbone to every country in development. And he said 1 or 2 things about that. They'll get them quickly, and Miguel Stengo can respond to that.
Because good governance is not about grand speeches. It is about results that the people can feel in their lives. Critical sectors and cross-cutting areas. The economy. Just give me backwards. Let me now highlight critical sectors Honorable members, let me now highlight other critical sectors and cross-cutting areas, beginning with the economy, the engine of our national transformation. Our economy has weathered difficult global storms, rising energy prices, supply chain disruptions, and the lingering effects of pandemic. Yet, Sierra Leone has remained resilient. In 2024, GDP grew by 4%, driven by mining, agriculture, construction.
That was the president. They are talking about the economy. But before they go, Melvin mentioned something about sometimes the information they pass and body language. And Mr. Babadi, I mean, you get some knowledge about the economy in sense, the calculation side of it, the accounting side of it. I mean, take us through. Let's start first by analyzing the body language of not only the president when he was talking, but also the parliamentarians and different people inside the world of parliament where he reached a particular side.
You had my very good friend, Gigi Safar, in 2017. They're going to take just 6 months to build the economy, provide bread and butter. In 2023, he said 3 months, without making provision for bad and doubtful debt, without looking. In Europe, you have the Holocaust. Here we have natural disaster that will crumble any economy. There is no economy that is not crumbled by natural disaster. The COVID damaged the US economy. It damaged the Chinese economy. Ebola. See what happened. I would have loved my Bewa, whatever person at State House level to be here. It would have been simple. You know, you were talking to me about the economy of Sierra Leone. I read about economies in Europe, in Africa. The strongest and the best, the creeping ones, the ones that are really doing well, via London School of Economics, through the Adam Smith project. You read about these economies. When you read about Sierra Leone economy, you are embarrassed. Forget about the cocaine. Forget about some other things. But our economy is not thriving, not doing well. SWP came in 2018. They inherited a GDP growth of 3.5%. From Anescoma. The same goes to Anescoma, who inherited 3.5% GDP growth from Alhaji Dr. Amati Jankaba, who also inherited from Strasser. The same. Read those documents, those appropriation bills, those reports from Strasser or Marabio coming to Bakaba, and they said, no Johnny Paul, now Anescoma. But when they came, the grumbling, they had to grumble for almost 2 years. 24 months.
When they said they, you mean this current government?
This government.
Okay.
24 months they were grumbling on Star TV, on SLBC, on Democracy Radio, AYV, all over the place. The majority leader or head of government business, Tunis, all of them, Numa, all grumbling. Say the economy as soon, meet them, then corrupt, and so, and thief man them. These are a bunch of criminal enterprise, criminal racketeers. Okay, fine. It's the political angle. Now we want bread and butter, and I make we vote you in. We vote you in for peace, security, and good governance. This governance talks about economic governance. It talks about political governance. It talks about socio-economic governance. It talks about corporate governance. 4. The peace. How do you maintain peace? Angry. And they think something negatively for be done. So peace will never be, you don't ever achieve peace. If you need to get up a person in bread and butter. It wants to survive. Every human being on earth, since creation, wants to survive. Wants an opportunity. Some man don't miss, some man still, they in the verge for miss, some man don't have miss at all. So what do you do now for ensure say, without the BNM benefit, it can do anything. You pay 1.6 million euros, you get a home of 10. They need 50 million euros per month. So you push them. However, that is part of the peace security. Peace. The security is different. Governance, I have to talk about that, and the economic governance or corporate governance. Where you come as a government, not even complain. Don't complain.
But the complaint don't sound like a strategy for lay you.
Yes, don't complain. What you do is you look at the country, run your government like a business. If you don't, then you miss. Trump is running America like a business. In England, it is run like a business, that government. They go into agreement with the pigs. They go into so many things. They also market the idea and sell. You have brain economy also. In the back of England, I was reading this morning. What is called that as brain economy. They sell economic products and models to Singapore, Malaysia. They pay them. Send this Dr. Stevens, who I think is the best in our economy for now, who read econometrics at Durham University, came as deputy governor.
Not the governor.
Now the governor, you see the way how the foreign currencies are being stabilized. You see how treasury bills and bonds, the percentage increase has attracted people to cash in to the bank, to bring in their dollar, their euro, the pounds. It's a simple, it is not rocket science. It is never rocket science. It is not chemistry. You have organic chemistry, human chemistry. No. It's a simple development economics. He read econometrics. In his PhD, the supervisor, I help him. That's me, no. You know, I'm not very, very well. I ask a lot of questions about him. I say, how it manages economy, so how it manage the cash policy, the fiscal policy, how it manage the monetary policy of this country. Unlike Professor Kalon, 5 years, who was there just going all over the place. When I told my student at a university, it is not, that's not what we want to see. Practical hands-on realities. Joseph was there for 3 years, messed up the place. The worst Minister of Finance after independence. Cannot progressively progress our economy. 3.5% GDP growth United. You cannot move it till date to 5%. 36 months of the APC administration. I'm not a fan of Aneskuma, please. Let me just say this. If you're APC, fine. If you're please, be fine. I'm not a fan of Aneskuma. I am not. However, look at what he did as an individual and those who are around him. In 36 months, our economy moved from 3.5% to 7%. Check the World Bank. Check the IMF, their reports. Nobody gives you accolade or credence to American government. It is the IMF and the World Bank that say, yes, your economy is performing. You are the best economy in the world. China, it is the IMF and the World Bank that ensures that all the storms, all the indicators, the economic indicators, the parameters, you know, there are constant limiting parameters when it comes to those parameters. Those indicators, you have sub-indicators that limit those indicators up there. So you have a lot of things. There are stop checks. In every other economy, Sierra Leone is not different at all. Are we really a democracy, sir? We elected our people to go to parliament and then everywhere. That's not a ball game. So, if we are still seeing our economy delving, going down, you know, we have to talk. What is the current? I was waiting to hear. What's the percentage GDP growth? It's 5% now. The IMF and World Bank were projecting Sierra Leone to be 4%, 4.3%.
The president mentioned it.
The IMF, not what the president said, it's just politics. I'm talking about the reality on the ground. When Aneskoma inherited 3.5% GDP growth, in 36 months, he was able to meander his way. He moved the economy with what is called through corporate governance. That is what you do. You make your government like a business entity, a going concern business, not a continuity. Going concern. Now, what does that mean? Melvin is a rich man, has money, billions of dollars. He wants to invest and make more money. Contact Melvin, or Melvin will contact you. Go to. Now, let me just tell you now, if you want to grow this economy, the thing that they've neglected the thing that they've ignored, which Kela is unable still to do, is the energy sector. Just for Sierra Leone with 8 million people, 365,000 square kilometers, look at the infrastructure. We just announced that in our national grid, there is 1,500 megawatts. See how we will bypass protocols to come to Sierra Leone. Don't listen to the lawyers, in fact, or their business advisors. They will rush to come.
You know, the president talked about the energy.
What is in a national grid? Below 100 megawatts, as I speak. They inherited SVP in 2018 in their manifesto, page 39, talking about energy and the economy. That was a well-researched document. Trust me, I want to be frank. Okay. Not this one, not the APC 2007 or Agenda for Change or Prosperity. That document was well-researched with intellectuals, but it was not followed. The new direction, new direction. That's a good physiology, a very good catch. It was well researched. They said in that document, page 39, go there. I have it at home. They went everywhere to identify if what Ernest Kumah said in the 2012 manifesto, Agenda for Prosperity, is true. But they looked at the realities on the ground, went to every other place where energy is used. They only found out that APC left behind. APC only have 100 megawatts that is produced with, including Bumbuna, Cape Lambert, Arax, the generators at King Tom, at Blackwood, etc. The BKPS and what have you, 100. But APC in their manifesto in 2012 promised 1,000 megawatts. That was true. Haifala Mara. That was the manifesto. Now, SVP dovetailed from that and insert into that people's manifesto called the New Direction Manifesto. 100 megawatts. That means Bumbuna produces 50 during the gains. 20 by Cape Lambert. 25 there, Arax Cape Lambert, that produce biofuel, bioenergy through sugarcane. Huge sort of employment of people. IMF was funding that project because it was owned by Vincent Kanu. The SVP had to abandon, and Ernest Kumah was a landowner. So it was abandoned completely. Fine. You inherited this
Kappa.
Not the Kappa. Kappa is not ours. We're talking about generators at King Tom of, I think, 20 megawatts. Blackwood, 15 megawatts. Brand new. It was abandoned for 7 years. Except now, Kela went to Japan, and what of you collected $20 million. They had to take from that $20 million. Took it to Guinea, said they're going to Guinea to request for energy. When we have energy infrastructure in Sierra Leone, the rains are coming. By June, May-June, Bumbuna is active with 30 megawatts. By June, July, it's about 49 megawatts. You cannot use all. It's not possible. It's 50 megawatts. It's just one turbine. From Pasheki to Momo to Pakaba, and it's one turbine. Till date. No two turbines. If it's two turbines, it's 200 megawatts. 3 turbines, 300 megawatts. Bumbuna was expanded. It was not enough. It was Big Congo in 1970 in Kono that was supposed to fuel lights. But Big Congo is far removed from the city where hotels are. You have pharmacies, hospitals, big buildings, banks, insurance companies. So they had to come to that Bumbuna place. World Bank said, okay, no problem. We'll support. The Italian government was there. Now, you have that facility. You've gotten $20 million. You know how much money has been pumped into energy after 2018? $464 million. I have the fact. Till date, we do not have, I don't know about Slick. You have stable electricity from morning till for the next 18, 20 hours. I don't know, maybe Melvin is enjoying that. But I'm not enjoying it at all. So, that particular area of energy that improves education, builds education, grows education, encourages to be more educated, with laboratories, the libraries, e-libraries, they need lights. Go to the hospitals. Let blackout go. Then you know what it means when you're under a tube. A lot of things. So they ignore the energy sector. It's not
so
there.
The president, even talking as they say, they make insisted don't take over now the energy sector.
Till date, what has happened? How many megawatts have we increased? How far with Bumbuna? They are still going to Guinea to buy lights from Guinea.
So, but
take the money to Guinea, live in Bumbuna. Bumbuna is there. Improve Bumbuna, modify Bumbuna, re-engage, do what you have to do. But it's not an Escomas project. An Escoma was not there in 1975. Bumbuna, we all know what happened to Bumbuna when we are not yet born. I'm the oldest here. But I was even born at that time, 73, 74. Bumbuna started with Pashaki, looking at the Akosombo Dam in Ghana, within Nkrumah. What happened? It has to take almost 50 years. BBC in their, what have you, they were giving some, making fun or what have you. Which city is the darkest city in the world? Sierra Leone. The longest war in the world was Colombia. The longest project in the world, where? Bumbuna, where? Sierra Leone. In 2008, Bumbuna had light. 50 megawatts. How far is 50 megawatts? We need at least 150 megawatts to just fit them. Makeni, Bo, Kenema, these are all livelihoods, opportunities. Village economics is important in this case. So what we're saying these things because when we talk, they say we are opposition.
But I'm going to tell you, say they don't get, expansion in terms of the electricity. Different villages now don't get light.
Where? In Tongolimba? In Magburuka? In Tomabom? In Tikonko? Where is this light? How many megawatts? The president refused in the last 5 years, 6 times, maybe in the 7th year, he will say it to us that he will give sufficient energy to Sierra Leone.
And added to it,
now, sufficient energy, what's the percentage? What's the megawatt? You count it a megawatt, not kilowatt. That's generator. Megawatt. How many megawatts is in your national grid? What they've told us, nothing at all. Ghana is moving. Senegal don't have problem with light. Gambia don't have problem with energy. Ivory Coast, forget it. They are supplying. Ghana, they are supplying to Burkina Faso and some other Benin Republic and even Togo. Nigeria is still challenged. I know they want to go into nuclear energy. We only have, we don't have wind energy. These are the things that are contributing. These are the triggers for economic development all over the world. Not just infrastructure, not just road. Yes, road contributes. Agriculture contributes. That we agree. You know, marine, like you said just now, 16%. That's what we are talking about. Marine, the blue economy, which World Bank projected in 2016. That means Sierra Leone is supposed to move from the yellow economy, that's diamond, gold, and what have you, coming to the marine, that is the blue economy.
The water now.
Water economy. If we are able to manage our water resources, our water, properly and adequately, we don't need to make any agreement with diamond and gold or what have you to come and do timber mining. It's not necessary at all. Just it marine. Do your research. Sierra Leone have 7 water points where fishes move faster. 7. The balance 21 is all over the world. We have 7. Banff Island, Moyamba, Shingi, Kagboro Chiefdom, all these places. Rich. We are rich in terms of marine. We do not have people who are interested. They're interested in gold and diamond. Short term. They are not interested in marine, except Milian that was interested. So all of these things, well, I will not say we should privatize them. Burkina Faso is giving us some example. Discard them, no problem. Say they are just media outfit or whatever you. But Burkina Faso is saying, I'm saying a government for handle this. And the people for handle this. It is not private sector. But we are saying we are a democracy. We have no alternative. Can we encourage private sector investors to go into the marine industry? Can we encourage them to go into agriculture? Tomabom is is the same age with him in Injala University. After his research was done by Pisco from the US, 1960 something.
Yeah, then go say that from checking Tomabom project.
From Sir Albert. So Sir Steve came in that and improve on it and ensure Tomabom becomes a point where people will go and stay, relax, live their life, don't come to Freetown. Send your kids into the schools. Then they had Injala. So you don't have any business to come and do to Freetown, to come to Freetown, to come for university. No, go to Injala. It's a culture base. Go to Tomabom, see how Tomabom is. It was a place then, 30, 40 years ago. But rebels disturbed the Kamajors, we can understand. The infrastructures are still there. Go to Tomabom, you see Tomabom, you say, no, this place should have been better. But government cannot. Government don't have money. Government don't do business directly. They can do it indirectly. Melvin, well, I'm still talking to Melvin. Melvin, you don't have the money. No. 800 million or $1 billion can improve Tomabom, turn it around, ensure they process the rice here. They bag it, they package it, and market it in Sierra Leone. Everything being done through mechanized agriculture. Those inland valley swamps, we can look at them later. Fish pond, aquaculture, all of those things put together, we can make a lot of money. But the problem is, these guys, they are not magnanimous enough. Always talking politics, like he was saying, Melvin. Politics. You talk the reality. This is not the reality. I don't win them. What do you do? Nothing. This is the reality, and we are going ahead. We are not there yet, but we'll go there. And Nkrumah took Sierra Leone. I don't like. I'm not a fan of Nkrumah.
Okay.
And he took the economy from 3.5% in 2007, September, to September 2009, 5.3%. When they signed with African Mineral, that was the time we start moving. Arithmetically, progressively we moved the economy to 7.98%. How is GDP growth measured? As per the population. How many do we have? The working class. How do you translate that money into every other seed in Sierra Leone? Then you have what is called now the per capita income. That means what you and I work per day, per week, per month. Qatar is the richest country in terms of per capita in the world. Because each Qatarian, when they are paid $7,000, the least cleaner. So that's per capita, per head. You have now the gross national product that you can also use. So these things that, it is not rocket science, man. If you can read it, you can read it. Melvin can read it and dive into it properly. It is not you see, Greek or Latin. It is in English language. So please, we are asking, please. We are tired with the get kicks. We are tired with the excuses from President Bio and his personnel. We are tired. The systems are there. NRA gathers those funds.
The NRA where they get 25% shortfall?
How many factories and how many companies? Don't blame them yet. But don't get for clean. You don't know what's going to happen. How many factories in this country pays into the consolidated revenue fund? The taxes. The GST, the PE tax, the NACIT and everything. How many companies? How many filling stations?
So at this point, what do you recommend say needs to be done? Because the economy says just retire with rhetorics, just they talk no more.
Talk back and forth.
So what do you think? I mean, maybe they can listen. I'm sure Edmond talk on this morning.
They will never listen.
According to Edmond, not just quota. He said, we grab no money, just cause no more. Chief the yeri say they cause noise.
Yeah.
Then go yeri.
Yeah.
Maybe your recommendation go worth it. I mean, in terms of the economy.
Not this chief. Another chief. We are waiting another chief. We're tired of talking. We're just saying that we know, we understand the issues, we know the problems, so we are ready to bring out these problems and then identify possible solutions. I can identify possible solutions, not for him, not for his men, for his personnel.
So you are saying, in other words, also a list in government?
Definitely. The Minister of Finance, I do not have trust in him. I've not seen his CV yet. But I do not have trust in him. The only person I trust in the economy is the governor of the bank, because he's a technocrat. He does not talk, even within company and classmates there. with the Medina School and Academy. You know they talk. You ever read Bomoja Stephen? No. That's how they are. Very mumin, but they're smart. He has the models. And he's still making money in consultancy with the Bank of England. That I will show you. So what I'm saying is the things are not new. Salon problems are not new. They are not unique. No. They are systemic. That I agree. Yeah? The presidency, they are making 450 roads, constructing them where? Which particular area? Which communities? Freetown still lack roads. So many potholes in Freetown. When are we going to handle that? You know, it all boils down to what we refer to as the economy. I've forgotten the name now. Is your name is
Rabiatu.
Rabiatu. Rabiatu. What determines the economy of a country? How do you know this country's economy is doing well? How do I know that Rabiatu's home is doing very well? Go to the home, see how the home is. Look at the house. Look at the furniture. Look at the kids, how they live. Not the vehicle. Some people are very... which schools are they attending? They are attending Fatima Municipal Junior Secondary School instead of International, or Minor, or Limau. Simple economics.
So Melvin, I mean, one would say, you know, we will talk from the accountant's point of view, or the expert's point of view, where body don't come off from. But again, as an ordinary Sierra Leonean, you work in a state. What are some of the things the ordinary man they talk about the economy?
By the way, of course, I have no academic qualification in financing or banking or the economy. But what journalism, as it's always said, and say journalists, if I know something but
about everything.
Everything. And yes, so over the years, from my writings and my research, the first thing comes to my mind, the way they kind of in mind, and that we'll talk about economy. We'll talk about, in this case, how government institutions are financed, how the budget is sourced. And if you look at the fiscal policy of Sierra Leone at the moment, it's obvious that the government is spending more than what it's generating. It's good you mentioned NRA shortfall, but that is not only the case. Corruption and financial crime is also a big impediment to the economy. Because if you look at the aspect of waste, the amount of money that the Auditor General records as unaccounted for, or cash loss, it's a huge chunk of the GDP itself, which affects the economy.
Yes.
I think ACC has not been doing an empirical research on the impact of corruption on the country's GDP. Other countries are doing those studies, because if, for example, just put in terms of what they've recovered in terms of one fiscal year, we can be able to say corruption eats 3%, 4% of the economy. Because when you're talking about the economy, it's a holistic, the economy gets benchmarks. So that is for waste and corruption. Because, the amount of money allocated for service delivery, at the end of the day, the Auditor General's report, they say it end up for being a cash loss. So that is one. But again, government spending, over time, it seems as if the government is spending beyond what it's, either in quotes according to its size. Experts are saying monies expended on things like luxury and traveling and meetings. If the government can institute an expenditure rationalization, it's an economic principle from the West, cut down on expenditures. And I don't know, African countries, then they say, okay, well, president is okay, me, I slash me pay, I cut some me pay, me minister themselves, I cut span them pay, MPs, I cut span them pay. Because at the end of the day, if you don't drain the swamp, as Donald Trump, quoting Donald Trump's rhetoric, you will find out, say, waste will take away. So, you appoint Elon Musk for the head of, one of the head of Department of Government Efficiency. One of the things Nasalone, where we know able for deliver on, service delivery. We are very poor at that. Even MCC report, then until we say we are poor when it comes to service delivery. So I think if we can be able to balance our expenditure, the government itself look at prioritizing expenditure on some of those areas, it can be good. Because for the data, it seems as if the data that the government is quoting on inflation shows promising sign. the data that the government is showing on the exchange rates seemingly is showing a promising sign. But what I disagree with Babadi on is the way he seems to be amplifying his praise singing for the current bank governor. The current bank governor cannot be excused. He's part of the economic fiscal indiscipline problem in Sierra Leone. Let me give you a case study.
Okay.
It was the former bank governor who told us that this current bank governor has paid himself his benefits even while he was working. Yes, it's on record. Professor Kalon said it. It was Professor Kalon who said when people in government are traveling, they are paid in Forex. It's on record. So who supervises that? I think, yes, he looks can I say, unpredictable. He's a bit a taciturn guy. He doesn't come to public. But that does not omit him from the blame that he has been a deputy governor a long time under previous governors. Not really, so he was there. And now he's the governor, and there are reports that he's mismanaging the central bank to the point that he is personally doing things that contravenes the rules. So all of those are the issues that are affecting the economy when it comes to how well it should be managed. And of course, the Ministry of Finance, I think, again, from the political standpoint, that ministry seemingly is becoming more political than technocrat. And until we get it right with the right economists, the right financial experts, the right accountants at that ministry, we will not get it right with the economy. Because
thankfully, Mr. Babadi there.
Yeah, but it's not coming from the ministry.
You say if we get the right people. I said thankfully, Mr. Babadi there.
Yeah, but it's not working for the Minister of Finance. My point there is they should be working at that ministry rather than presenting some sorts of animal farm kind of ministry wherein some animals are more. So again, like I say, from the ministry standpoint, I get serious reservation on how the technocrats and on the fair run. And I think, yes, it needs political willingness when it comes to stabilizing the economy, because the economy, we talk about the wage bill also, that ties to the economy. If you're having huge disparity, you're paying some directors hundreds of millions and millions of loans, and you have others that are holding similar academic qualification, but just because they are not appointed position, but rather public service position, and you decide to pay them 2.5 or 5 million. So the wage bill disparity is huge, and it's interestingly there is a wages and compensation commission. Yes. How much has this commission been doing for towards that?
What they do? I mean, I think in that light, it cuts across all sectors, even the private sector so far. Absolutely. So, not just they limited to the government workers and the likes, but like I don't know what you say. But quick one, time not seem to be with friend. Why is Mr. Babadi be talking? He mentioned something about interest in involving other sectors, and now by looks of things, they say the youths, they make up greater percentage of Salone population. But today, we see we youths, them more or less engaged in, should I say, taking harmful substances, however. And Mr. Babadi also mentioned something about, well, where somebody angry, you get for think and the likes. And the president mentioned what they don't do so far for these victims. I want to get some quick one, and we'll just can rob more small no more program before we actually end this particular segment.
To combat drug abuse, rehabilitation centers in Hastings and Bo have helped over 400 former drug users rebuild their lives. We are also addressing substance abuse among persons with disabilities through programs combining rehabilitation with vocational training. Already 200 people are training in tailoring in Makedi and Freetown. With a $1 million India UN grant, we are establishing ski centers and a disability village to empower vulnerable citizens. A nation's strength is measured not by how it treats the powerful, but how it protects the vulnerable.
for say about what they don't do for drug victims? 400. I mean, say that then they don't, at least they don't carry them go to a rehab center. But that number we give and the number what they see of people and way they into the drug, it tends like the ratio not somehow balanced. I mean, what's your take in that regard?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on what Melvin was saying, and so we speak from the same page. But however, this is also important that the president should ensure. I did a press release, we did a press release, put it out when this thing was writing, and called on Parliament to summon all stakeholders, the IG of police, traders union, those who are involved into narcotic, what have you, they were summoned. Later, the Minister of Information, the opposition party, in Parliament, all of them converged at Bintimani. I was not informed to go and talk, fine. I already had the invitation, I sent someone. Now, we were saying that the president should come out with a proclamation. This is very important. I've seen boys, oh my God. By then I was staying at Kaningo, that means it was like a year ago. You see these guys, young, small boys, to even hold 5-gallon rubber, 2, no way. Even the one they keep, because they're consuming too much of this narco. Now, the source, they have people who import them through legal means or illegal means, what have you. You know, how do we stop them? How do we arrest them? The one is a big head. How can you go after a person who has the surname of the president? So it was challenging for the police. The police had to come out and do some public campaigns and what have you. You know. So what I have a whole dossier of these boats that landed. From Vantage newspaper, I spoke to them. I spoke to some other. I had to go there myself. Because the way our boys, my organization is Youth Focus. We go into schools in the last 17 years of existence. We engage young people. Those who are very serious, you see them now, they are practicing, they are almost 6-7 years standing in the law. 9 years, some of them. Those who are into medical science, I don't pay for medical stuff. I go to my former beneficiaries or pupils. Those are mentors. They give me injection, they gave me medicine. One of them, I had the opportunity of sending, in 2009, I sent those names to Foreign Affairs. They were giving scholarship, they want medical students. Those going to oil and gas. The commercials were not given at all. Just one was given. Michael Kotekwi. He went to Venezuela, learned the Spanish, and then he was back. I was sick. He He came to my house. A doctor can give money, not even get money. So the serious ones. So you have those who are not too, but have some trade that will involve into. You have those who are just down there. They didn't any opportunity. These are the ones that are suffering now. They are in the street. They are crying. They are sick. They are so. It's unfortunate. Who is bringing these things? We now have a drug baron in this country called Just Logicus, whose now nickname here is it? Umar I don't know, Umar or something like Umar, Just Logicus.
But the police report say now they didn't get. So what they get now they tell we.
Which report?
Say that's what your slide deckers then get na Salona Umar Sheriff then get.
Thank you very much. But we have somebody here who Europe's most wanted drug baron. He's here.
But the police then say no they are.
Oh, he's here. I don't listen to police. Police are just there like that. They are used all over the place. So I had the PR. I was supposed to be with him at Liberty Online Television. He declined. He refused. I have my weapons to indict Just Logicus. That gentleman who owned that boat. This boat has landed in this country for the past three times. This is the third time. The boat was on, then police is saying that the boat was off. So he lost that. The boat was on, big team. Air conditions were on. The offices were all on. 6 naval officers of the RSLAF were in the place, well armed. Business is going on.
think
Sierra Leone is now, of course, you and I know very well, it is on record that Sierra Leone is now a transit point.
Yes.
You all know that. You go up now to Europe, drop Melvin Jamasari, as cute as he is now. Go to Europe, they will screen you, they will scan you. You know how those guys are, even Kenya here. I think they've stopped that now. Non-Kenyans this way, Kenyans this way. A non-Kenyan, I don't care if you're black skin, they'll scan you. Go to Qatar airport in Doha, Beijing, come to Heathrow, Gatwick, every other tower you go to. We have challenges, but we continue because we're here. We are not moving out anymore. We are not going anymore. We are not traveling anymore. We do not travel at all. So we think it's just bread and butter. It's sweet for us. But Sierra Leone is embarrassed. Even public sector worker from the Minister of Finance, a colleague of mine, a classmate of mine, who's a senior directorate level now. The guy, his suitcase. This is serious. Sierra Leone is now a narco state, transiting cocaine and other drugs to other parts of the world, to South America, like Chile, Venezuela, etc. Sierra Leone is part of that. Why do you keep shying away from it? That's what the police see. Are the police saying, are they not getting much enough? They're working for government. You look at security sector from police and military. These are regime protection institutions to protect a regime. From Sam Milton to Salbat to Sheikh Stevens to JS Momo, downwards to now. These are regime protection.
So you think they're not independent?
Read the security sector reform. We were at Atlantic London Hotel to reform security sector with ECOWAS, UNDP, GIZ, and the ONS, Government of Sierra Leone. It was very clear in the gentleman's presentation. Kylie, who's the NS or whatever, chief of staff, he will tell you that it's a regime protection force. So they are still state-centric. They are not people-centric. That's the problem with the police. Right. They are still state-centric, guarding the state rather than you and I.
Okay.
So I don't countenance them at all. However, you're looking at what is happening. Even though you are improving the economy, if you improve the economy, you don't take care of this thing, this drug issue that is affecting our young people. In the next 10 years, 20 years, you don't have people like Melvin, Ben Kefala, Zitsiba. You will never have them. Never will you have them. You don't have people like you. She said they are interviewing us. They will all go down, even girls. Ladies are sniffing those things. So how do we stop it? It's not, it's out of our control. That's why we voted. So you voted for, you are supposed to make policy, you are supposed to generate policy, you are supposed to implement this policy, apply them, enforce them. Go to the border points, those porous border crossing points. Stop those things. Use the military and the police. Because they're sitting in Freetown and just talking. You have the port, the sea and airport. You got to import these things. Very dangerous substances. So how do the police will come and tell me this, and I believe because they're police, they have the police are the most unjust institution in Sierra Leone. They just arrest you unnecessarily and keep you. What is that? 10 days, 7 days. Why do you arrest me? No crime, no law breaking, no crime committed. Okay, you can go now. In Ghana here. That's why I am moving and I'm pushing at the IPCM, at the UNDP, this security sector reform group. But I'm saying we have to reform the police properly, especially looking at the Independent Police Complaint Board. Let's review the law. We have a legislation in place. Fine, that's good. Yeah, Sierra Leone in West Africa is the first, second in Africa, third in Africa after South Africa and Kenya to have an IPCB. That means a civilian police oversight. Ghana came in 2016 to learn from Sierra Leone, 2017, sorry, before election, to learn from them. They collected samples of the the policy. Now we have an IPCB. Fine, that's good. But the IPCB will only be effective when they are able to couch policy, which I'm ready to help them with, to develop a policy, develop a legislation, take it to parliament, the draft now look at it and say, well, let's rephrase, change, do this, and do that. And then ensure that the IPCB have the mandate, the power now, like the Anti-Corruption Commission, to go to court, identify you as a culprit, charge you to court, go back and prosecute you. If they can go and start doing that with the police, police just a pull trigger.
All right.
If they pull trigger unnecessarily and then nothing happened, they left the police. The police then sit and go Kenema from Freetown or go Kainlaung. He did it for 6 years. Case, buff case. So what you do now, when that officer misbehaves, the IPCB have the mandate with their lawyers that are paid, probably by the UNDP, to go and ask the IG or the AG to release that police, prosecute them. If complaints are sent to the IPCB, how do they handle it? They go either to the Attorney General or to the IGP. So we have to look at the whole thing about reforms. But this government, will they do it? Because they're using the police.
But you say you need to talk to them. So quick one, Melvin. Time is not our friend. In just a sentence of few words, you think so we actually don't get enough justice in fighting against this whole drug thing that the country?
No, we need to do more. We need to do more by not being reactive, addressing the victims and ignoring the ones that are fueling the drug trade. It's like treating the symptoms without knowing the cause of the problem. So that should be done simultaneously. Also for the victims, I think the onus is upon every Sierra Leonean also to be a good citizen. And that message should be, like as mentioned in the President Dua. You know, it's so interesting. As mentioned in the President's Dua, I think we all must play our role when it comes to fighting drug, because at the end of the day, it's our community, it's our communities, it's the lives of our loved ones that are affected, and few people are making money out of that. So, again, on the side of law enforcement, I think they should be given the capacity. I think generally, from a government standpoint on all the issues, there is a need for political willingness and honesty. If the government is not willing, we can identify problems and provide solutions the whole of the day. If they are not a listening government, as said by Babadi, then it makes not much sense. But that is not to say the government also has not been doing its own bit on series of issues affecting young people. I think the government should have, scored very good points in talking about how many young people it has placed in positions of high responsibility, ranging from the chief minister and others. But I think the president decided to ignore that fact. But yes, young people at the same time are suffering from the problem of drug. But whereas we have other young people who are believed to be engaged in, internal party or personal aggrandizement instead of seeking the cause of the people. By and large, I think now that the president has delivered, we hope that Parliament will scrutinize the speech and ultimately bring out more realities in tandem with what was promised, how much is allocated, how much is wasted, how much has changed the lives of the ordinary people. Because at the end of the day, we can talk about government, but it's about how it betters the life of the people. And as it stands, the lives of people in Sierra Leone as measured by many international organization. If you look at what is called the HDI, Human Development Index of Sierra Leone, it's not something that is appreciable. So we need to improve, and one way of doing so is about the government being sincere with its promises and the use of resources, and the people also being honest in appreciating or disappreciating some of what the government is saying. And I think this program, we've done that eloquently when it comes to energy, and when it comes to the issue of education, yes, and drug use altogether, and all that. I think, yes, the conversation is always going to be there because it's political.
All right, he's Melvin Tijan Mansare, journalist, and we also get Thomas Pa-Ali Babadi, one of the Executive Director Forum of Sierra Leonean Youth network. Quickly, before we take entertainment, we get some comments from a Facebook page. Usala, just read them quickly. Usai Lamin Amara, the talk say, Mr. Babadi, you've been a very good guest today in analyzing the economy. You have been inspirational in your submission for us as students reading economics. How can one get to join your youth group? And Abdurrahman Janesim, they say, I have been consistently following your contributions in several media houses. Kindly contribute on this part. It continues to say, Mr. Babadi, your comprehensive analysis of the economical situation of our country is absolutely genuine and educative. And Ibrahim Sori Samora, they say, we lack patriotic citizens who are running the country with no monetary system in our country. And Lamin Amara say, Melvin, the past say WFP is buying 30% of its rice from Sierra Leone farmers and not FAOs. And Amidou John Barry, they say, I think the question around the free quality education covers the following: school fees, exercise books, textbooks, school buses, school feeding program for schools that do not have schools buses, but the rest of our schools expenditures are being paid for now. And OT Genesis Ishmael, they say, I get something for talk, but it come. And the same way still continue to say, achievement care. Thank you very much for your comments there on our Facebook page. Now look, get them nice and join Slim Peasy. They help we ease the tension altogether.
Yo, what's up, world? What's up, everyone? I go by the name Slim Peasy. You already know this. Now the corner right here on Slick TV channel 37. You don't know. Boom! Yes, we are back again. You know, I can do a week in, week out. Way back with them stories. Are you ready now? All right. So our first starts with the one and the only Amara Pele, most popularly known by his stage name MIC. You know what I mean? This is a very talented young star, you know what I mean, be a part of the KME music group. And of course, you know, we move out from that and then we lastly see him with Lofty's Entertainment. Inside 2024, this brother been travel alongside King Boss, LAJ and few other Sierra Leonean acts representing the RFM to the United Arab Emirates, to be precise, inside Dubai for a show will be organized by Lofty Entertainment for King Boss, LAJ and RFM crew. Of course, within that course, there we see Usai MSC not be able to return back to the motherland for some reasons. I mean, we 100% not be get clues. But of course, we understand, say, MIC been there in prison in Dubai for some long period of time since 2024 until this July inside 2025. Finally, MIC be regained in freedom. Of course, since it don't come out as an artist, well, it don't put out, I mean, a song where people be like, it's been a minute since his brother been locked up, it out from the scene. Now something fresh is coming from MIC. And of course, on this song, it day alongside a music group where these guys are brothers again from Sierra Leone, the name na TNG. And inside this group, you get Wazikata and Badman Glow. The song entitled Na Enjoyment. And of course, on this remix, MIC is with TNG Group. Let's take a snippet and we'll be back shortly.
Enjoyment. And she knows that nobody knows tomorrow. Live your life. Live your life. And she knows that nobody knows tomorrow. Live your life. Live your life. I pray for my life, no pressure. Golden blessings can't measure. They make you want to leave me like every net one chill enjoy, man. Mama say, put no woman, are you ready? On the hustle go fade. I just want to leave me life, cause one day we all go fade away. Culture make we link up, but also drink up. You know the girls want we. Me and TNG then think of all the girls around me. You for no say they're not free. Enjoyment in a Dubai, girls them all look fine. This not to Mumbai, the way the girl wine, the one broke is fine. Time nothing for check on me.
Well, that is Enjoyment, and of course you hear the sweet vocal, the verse from MIC. You know, they talk about enjoyment dinner Dubai and the likes. I mean, the brother is looking, I don't know if you know me, MIC look don't put on weight, you know what I'm talking about? My brother, that's what's up. You know what I mean? Keep dropping them bangers, dropping them songs. Man, live your life. You know what I'm talking about? Enjoy. The song is titled Enjoyment, and I mean, it will be out pretty soon. I'm sure this is the remix, the original one day out. It is just TNG, titled Enjoyment. Done. Let's talk about another thing on the plate today. Let's talk about reality TV shows them inside the motherland. Of course, over the years, we don't see different reality TV shows and on pop. Like, we don't see the likes of the Island of Secret, Housemaid Saloon. We don't see, Big Sisters. We don't see House of Stars, and so many others are coming. They are on the way. You know what I'm talking about? But of course, one thing where people can grumble about is not the winners them. So man can tell you, say, the one that make you win the show, if you like as they win the show, then they can't be talk something like that. But nevertheless, Majabona winner, one of the winners them for Big Sisters reality TV show winner the season 2. Try for give advice to the one that we have for going to the thingy. It's a two-way street. If only you make your mind right, you know what you want, which you to go inside the house for. I'm sure you'll be guided for make you utilize whatever you don't go get inside the house. You know what I'm talking about? So pretty much Majabona as one of the winners, I'm sure she's still standing as the winner because they not do season 3 yet for Big Sisters. However, I try to do a guiding for whoever want for venture it, so any upcoming, reality TV shows. You know what I'm talking about? So that read through the guide where Majabona put now in Facebook page. Let's get it. Reality TV show advice 101. Number 1, go in with a purpose and not only for the fame. Have a goal of what you want the world to support you towards, and always let it be with the highlight of what you portray out there. Number 2, it say be authentic. You don't have to fit in the box of what people want you to be, but always ask yourself, if you were the public, will you support someone like yourself? Showcase the most marketable part of your personality. 3, save money. Reality TV shows are gamble and only one person will emerge as the winner. Make sure you save a lot of money just in case you didn't win. Then you won't have to start your life from square one. And 4, have a trustworthy and strong team support system. Your team will be 50% of why you win. So make sure you choose your team wisely. Number 5, publicity. Make sure you get media houses to promote you as much as possible. The more people see you, a better chance of you becoming popular. Market yourself, share your story, go out of your way and get your name out there. I'll give more tips during the week, but for now, here are a few. Pretty much, it is just like a guidelines for people who want to go into reality TV shows. And to be honest enough, some of the things that I would say all of them things that we Majabona say we state from 1 to 5, they in place. We get a lot of people who don't venture or don't go for reality TV shows. Some man past and tell you say this been deep on reality TV shows. If you look at the other parts of Africa, you see how the one that we can go into such shows, how their life can transform or can be upgraded in a way. But that's just a guide. If you want to flow with them, they say certain things, not a one size fits all. So man can be a bit different. So if you want to go with a clear head and you vibe, go ahead and do your thing. It's just a guide from Majabona, which is a good one. Now I'm talking about. Well, I've been using social media this morning. I'm in TikTok and I don't see fun videos of this brother where Nasi Ojafa, as Naso he can call himself on TikTok. He's, I would say, a very supportive guy. He gets the light skin, but I would say he's a Sierra Leonean because he fluently they talk the Timni language on most of his videos and they dance to Sierra Leonean song. He's been around Sierra Leone for, I think, pretty much a long time. I see of SKM Group and also an influencer. I don't work with Mr. Trouble and few other people in social media, mostly on TikTok, I would say. I found out say this brother don't die. According to reports, he been get some, he not be well, he been sick. Overnight, I'm sure he will die. I want to say rest in peace to you, CEO Jaffa, and of course extend them to the family, the one that we left behind. Make God go give you the courage. You know, this is great. This is heavy on you guys. Just no say, na God, the gi, and same way so, na God, the take. It annoys you, but it is what it is. For me, we remember for how funny be and how it don't entertain people on TikTok. Let's just take 1 or 2 videos from CEO Jaffa and come back shortly.
Excuse me, madam. Waiting on your name.
Namine Sunita.
Okay, I want to talk with you.
No problem.
I can see you they go up and down. Waiting on your mission. You go school.
Oh yeah.
Hallelujah. Hosanna. Hallelujah. Hosanna Limango. Hallelujah. Hosanna.
All right, rest in peace, CEO Jaffa. Let's move from that. Let's talk about biologically or Michael A. Cisse. This one also somebody very popular in name na Michael A. Cisse himself, I would say na an influencer. And of course, he's been very much popular. He don't entertain people over the years. You know, gets a huge amount of followers on TikTok, and people really love in content. But of course, 2 days back, I see he make a post on Facebook. They ask for prayers from Sierra Unions. If you look on the screen right now, you see a picture of this brother with one side of his face, eyes covered with something like, a tape or whatnot. You could tell, say, you know, well, something wrong with him, and they go through a health challenge. Of course, they ask, say, let everybody wait on, they put smile on their face. So every Sierra Leonean we come across this post, keep them in prayers. It's not easy. One thing I can say, most popular people tend for they keep waiting and they go through personal challenges on the low. But if you see them bring them out to the general public, it tells you they don't go beyond control. So I for keep my brother, I for start with myself, make God give him medicine, make God give him a well body for make it continue for do waiting he don't do over the years. Okay? That's not all waiting day inside the basket fauna today. Till we link up again for another episode of the Entertainment Corner. I'm signing out. My name is Ibrahim Kagbo. You call me Slim PZ or you say the vibe. Goodbye.
Welcome back and thank you very much, Slim PZ there for entertainment news. And I'll go into a flight schedule for tomorrow. Aska Airlines flight KP023 will take off from Banjul, stopping in Freetown at 8:05 a.m. Accra and finally arriving in Lomé at 8:45 a.m. At 1 p.m., Aska Airlines flight KP042 will take off from Lomé, stopping in Freetown at 3:55 p.m. and arriving in Banjul at 4:35 p.m. Also at 1 p.m., Aska Airlines flight KP040 will depart from Accra and head to Freetown. At 1:30 p.m., Brussels Airlines flight SN241 will take off from Freetown, make a stop in Monrovia, and land in Brussels at 7:55 p.m. At 2:30 p.m., Kenya Airways flight KQ510/11 will depart from Nairobi, stop in Accra at 5:30 p.m. and arrive in Freetown at 6:30 p.m. This flight will then head back to Accra and return to Nairobi. At 4 p.m., Air Senegal flight HC213/4 will leave Dakar, arrive in Banjul at 6:55 p.m. and continue to Freetown at 7:50 p.m. Finally, at 8 p.m., Air Peace flight P47760/1 will depart from Freetown to Lagos, arriving at 11 p.m. with a final arrival at 11:40 p.m. That's all we have for you in a flight update. And now I'm being joined by James Cameraman for take us through what's making waves now. Welcome, James.
Yes, thank you and good afternoon. viewers. And so now we'll go straight to NATCA, the National Telecommunication. We talked yesterday about the roaming provisions where they make for people who get to travel or where they travel around some African countries, especially for, ECOWAS countries. So as you see on the screen, we see the immediate for immediate release, press release. You will see, and the headline it says, "Please be aware that the ECOWAS regional roaming initiative was designated for visitors who travel across West Africa countries and stay for a short period. Visitors in these countries will not be charged for receiving calls for a month under the ECOWAS roaming protocol or the first 300 minutes under the Abidjan roaming protocols." Okay, so now we get the ECOWAS protocol. Under the ECOWAS protocol, so you get free roaming protocol. Sierra Leone has established free roaming protocols with following countries. Cote d'Ivoire, we can call Ivory Coast, the Gambia, Banjul, Liberia, we can call Monrovia. That means say when you travel in that country there, the moment you enter that countries there, you get free call. That anybody when they call you, you know they charge you. You SIM, you no need for say, well, I change my SIM, make I take the country SIM. No, you still use them, and you still get call from the countries there. So when you get period, they get a period time as which, when you go enjoy this kind of facility. If you continue, say under the ECOWAS protocol, it says visitors to these countries can access roaming services, can both voice, data, and SMS by dialing the following short codes. So if you want to enjoy density service here, that the code then they say for Africell, you get 235 star 235 hash, and for Orange you get star 266 hash. So now the code then this way you will use when you enter the country for making people enjoy some of their facilities there. Also we NACTA and under the ECOWAS protocol don't make easy for me and you too. So it's a good one for people with travel. So you know need for the say now you go for call again, say they are send for me credit or me credit a bond when I reach this country. But now you get a particular period where you enjoy this protocol. So we'll go back to the screen again and make I just show now the period where you go enjoy this privilege. They say visitors to these countries should be mindful of the following. Visitors who travel to these countries will be able to receive calls at no cost to the recipient for a period of 1 month. No cost, just 1 month, you will receive call. The calls originator will pay for placing calls at the normal local rate of the country from which the call is made. That means if you did Liberia, then I call you, now they charge you, they charge me for salon, like I call it normal call, then they charge me for, and then they charge me again for international call. So it's normal. So within a 1 month period, we did decide Ivory Coast, Banjul, or Liberia. If I call you from Salonia, Ivory Coast, it means that normal call and a normal charge I go experience, not as international call where I put through. So it's a good one for we Sierra Leonean and a good one from NATCA. We want to say thank you to them and we really appreciate them. And also people who travel will really enjoy this kind of facility. Rabi, what do you think?
I get enjoy.
Yeah.
So these are for the people traveling, especially those going there for do business. I mean, we go business, you don't expect say it will take more than a month, right? Because you get for cancel. Sure. So if they've given you a month for free call, if you get your picking, I'm sure you go check on them. But again, there's also a twist to this. It's not a bad thing altogether. We have to commend those who have made sure that they push for this. But look at it again from this angle. It's not the same country where the guy say wants free call. I mean, inside to Usef, where before now we get that free call, is it about 12 to 5 a.m. in the morning, where they will talk to a person. Well, we don't know how it's going to work, the implementation altogether again, another thing here.
Yeah.
Because inside you host, I pull a parable and I say again, you know, I pull not go in a me, you want to pull another person, yeah. I mean, you never pull the load now you aid that you want for do it. It's a nice move altogether, but inside OSSF, there are things that we also want. We had these things how they will make call to USEF, where in fact you had to sacrifice your sleep altogether to do that. They cut up away like a fish. But this again is not a bad one, especially for those going there to do businesses and the likes and therefore check on the loved ones. So by and large, it's nice altogether. But again, what we want is like also the rest of mankind or majority get for enjoy and get access to. I think it's time for me to also consider for bring back.
Yeah, sure, indeed. So we'll make we enjoy and make good use of the facility we'll get. But there is more information on that press release day. It means where you did at the country. Now, if you want to make local call within the country, it means they are going to charge you for it. But it is stated in the press release. So you go find, make you get a copy of that press release day, make you grab them and read, you go for enjoy. So on the screen again now we get the local newspaper. We get one of the popular local newspapers in the country. You get the Premier News newspaper. The main banner headline story reads, Brookfield's pedestrian bridge at risk of collapse. Parliament 65 port agreement to boost maritime infrastructure, and Harlock delegation explore Niger housing mode to address housing deficit inside Salone. So government shares strategic development in census teacher welfare and public safety. If you look at the main banner headline story, all the stories are very important. But the one that is catching is the Brookfield's pedestrian bridge at risk of collapse. I guess we all know the bridge I think we joined, we from St. John, axis, we're going towards Beku Street. I guess you remember that, you know that bridge now where they talk. So that's the 9 day they talk about Sonaya. Say they're on the verge for collapse. You know, we don't talk about this bridge over and over. So it's time for the authorities for taking the necessary steps for see how they can go and amend the bridge. And even most time they work on another bridge themselves, they hear the sound of the bridge. Even when they pass they hear the sound of the bridge. So it means some attention need for be given to that bridge there. We don't know whether the integrity of the bridge, where they say engineering language, they say the integrity, that means the lifespan of the bridge, and need for check up for see whether it's still in within the lifespan where they get. But we could not see that problem come like how we experience on a Savage Street, you know. So we don't want to see that happen again. Yes, we need to be very, very careful.
In that light, this is the thing here altogether. This part of the world, often we had to wait for something to happen before actions are being taken. I mean, inside the world of Parliament, the president talk about the thing we don't do in terms of road infrastructure, and I'm sure bridge not an exception for road, and this like footpath way thousands of people that they use within that particular community there, and it's like more or less if you get another route, because I've been there before, if you get another route, however, but it's mainly used by so many people them. So if they are threats, this not just one, even the Tembeton Bridge, other people they say, even that Tembeton Bridge, and also say if you get a big question mark where and not tend for guarantee anymore. And this thing then get a lifespan they live for. Then go can't you say that they make away they say approximately it can reach, it not can reach. But the thing again, if government is saying, I mean the president mentioned until inside the world of Parliament how much they've invested in infrastructure, and these things are not been worked on, it poses a very big question. But again, the safety of people living around that particular place, you better solve the problem now than when things go south, we're going to be worse, much more worse than what we were expecting for, God forbid, if anything go happen. But however, we're calling on the authorities for now take action so that things will actually go south. At the end of the day, that money for take the other thing. Remember, say get for do the road now. Then these people, you have to take care of them in terms of the medical and like because they go claim it a disaster. However, anyway, more also when the rains, and we know how rain can come in. We're in August. You know how August rain can come.
So we hope the government could take the necessary measure for see how they're able for strengthening the bridge again, so that it will cause problems and we normally they expect. So we'll take the other local tabloid for today. We get the Global Times newspaper. It says Dag Kramer of Koindu Limited is a very dangerous man. Listen, I don't know what I mean, but if you follow that and this Dag Kramer, You can finally grab a copy of them.
The main banner headline story also. Koidu Limited.
Yes,
you know the whole saga about
Koidu Limited.
Koidu Limited thing altogether. So the person in charge, more or less, the paper is saying he's a dangerous man. We don't know the term dangerous or how they try for defend him, because if you tell the ordinary man, it can be possible they do you bad. It can be somebody where gets too much sense. It can be somebody where crafty. So the word dangerous when you use it, and we don't know the angle he's coming from, where they say the person however involved with this Koidu Limited case is a dangerous man. Well,
that's what the paper say. We know one for put meaning into that one day. So now we get the main banner headline story. It's a presidential advisor brief President Bio. You want to know what he briefed the president on. It's good to get a copy of him. Say MPs approved Deputy Finance Minister. And also get another story. It's the Deputy Defense Minister hails Chinese Army. Bo Kakwa Chiefdom gets new regent chief. All the story you find in the Global Times newspaper. Very interesting for it. And I guess you're going to grab a copy if you're not. Still go back again. See how you can send someone, or you can save can rush, and we'll still go in our post office. So you will get to vendors there, and we'll get a copy of these papers there. We will enjoy for it. We'll take the next one. We'll get the exclusive newspaper. The today edition, the main banner headline story. The APC meets today. That's the main banner headline story, and also gets another story. Say Bio addresses APC. I think good to go for talk about the state opening of Parliament today. Where President Bio go do. So we can guess he meet with all the parliamentarians. Then, but this paper is just focusing on APC. Say President Bio, say Bio addresses APC, and also get another story. Say Minister Salima Ba reforms ICT sector. $132 million invested, $2.3 million internet users, and the first open 5G network. Under a watch, these are some of the score points them for the minister, the young minister, Madam Salima Ba. We got another story, reads the Sierra Leone Ports and Harbour Authority. You will find all the interesting stories there on the exclusive newspaper. You want to know what APC they meet for today. You want to know what they discuss, or what they get for discuss today. You go good, you get a copy of this paper.
You know, so APC don't come inside the well of Parliament, and they were there. The MPs were there, and some dignitaries that were invited, and they don't go here waiting. The president safe don't say. I'm sure then go on pick. I mean, Melvin mentioned say. It will accept the opposition, don't go pick one or two things, and they're waiting for some critical analysis as to accept or reject within the president don't say altogether. But quick one for waiting the minister say in terms of, I mean, how much they've invested in the ICT sector, $132 million investment and 2.3 million internet users. You know, just like when we guessed them, we mentioned earlier today, sometimes it's time for you to ask the right question, also just the rhetorics. I mean, I get a college student who mentioned earlier to me, say, you can see a signal where they write online something, but they don't have access to this particular thing here. So even in universities, the way you feel like, say, you forget access to internet, for you do the assignment, you've been there, you know the kinds of assignment they wouldn't give you. For you able to do the assignment, yet you don't have access to internet, then we look holistically, I mean the internet facility what they get. Sometimes I don't know how to actually frame it or how to actually talk them, but the way in which would they get them, you gotta wonder, why should I even be paying for this service? And it's so irritating that we don't get access to internet. For example, you know, so your data they on the bars, then they show up on your phone, yet you don't forget internet. Everything is okay, but you never receive message. You've experienced it. It's so frustrating. So with this kind of investment and how much people and for benefit, but that's not what we're seeing. Even if you go into the schools today, it's time for be the complete opposite. I want to some extent agree with my guest earlier on when they said it's time for not rhetorics. Let's be asking the right questions.
Yes, indeed. It's time for we ask the right question, but would I go answer when it comes to us asking the right question? We will continue for bringing you more information, more details as we get them. Now, so we will bring the cutting down of today's headline review. And we bring a come to you. My name is James Kamaramane.
It's a pleasure always having you on board, James cameraman, and thought I want to extend my appreciation to me guests and the gentlemen we make them up today to we show. Also, we talk about the key highlights as to some of the key highlights as to within the presidency in the third session of the 6th opening of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone. And of course, to the production team, the men behind the cameras, I want to say thank you very much too. Have a splendid evening and ensure you watch Girls Talk today at 9. I am Rabiatu Mansaye.